Latest football news, engaging debates,
and fascinating opinions.
Pitchside talk on IO Radio.
So today it is a London derby, Fulham versus Tottenham, and for Fulham they have no new fresh injuries heading into this game against Tottenham. But apart from Tom Kearney, he still remains out with a knee injury. But for Spurs, Gareth Bale, who started his third league game of the season, a last time out, and scored 2 goals, might not even start for Jose Mourinho's side today. We don't know what's going on there. And Lo Celso is close to full fitness after a hamstring injury, but this game has come too soon for him. But Piers, this is a big game here if we think about it in sort of retrospective here. Fulham can go outside that relegation zone with a victory. They'll go ahead of Newcastle just by goal difference here. But for Tottenham, if they can get this, they'll go 1 point off the European places and continue to put that pressure on other sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting game. Two good London teams. I think last time they played each other, it starts some form for Fulham. They've seemed to have gone on some good form. You know, they've been unbeaten in their last few. And to be honest, for them at the bottom, in the bottom three, I think they've had terrific form. Really, getting some real key results and a couple of wins. Obviously, for Tottenham, ever since that draw to Fulham, they've been on a bit of a terrible run. Obviously, they got the win against, I believe, Leeds, and obviously got the win at the weekend. And to be fair, they did look quite good. But you know, you'd expect that from Tottenham. If Bale's not going to play, I think that'll be a blow for them. I think he looked very good in the last game. But obviously, Tottenham's attack isn't their problem. It's just their defence, really. I think what lets them down mostly this season. Fulham, on the other hand, you know, they're so close to getting out of that bottom three after all the doubts that they've had and the absolute terrible start they had. So, you know, it's an informed Fulham team coming up against, I'd say, a rejuvenated Tottenham team. I think Tottenham will definitely want to get back at them from the reverse fixture. And I think they'll get a result against Fulham. I think it'll be a tight one, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Tottenham.
So it's West Brom versus Everton today. And for West Brom, Robert Snodgrass is available after a 2-match absence because of a knee and a calf problem. And also Semi Ajayi is back after his suspension. Sam Allardyce is looking to build on that 1-0 victory goal against Brighton. But for Everton, they will assess the fitness of Seamus Coleman, Jay Rodriguez, Tom Davies and Robin Olsen, who missed out on the victory against Southampton on Monday. And also Yerry Mina is definitely out as well for this game. But Piers, for West Brom here, they're looking to build on getting that victory against Brighton. I think they've got another home game after it's got, a run of 3 home games here. And Sam Allardyce expects them to get 6 points from those 9 they've got coming up here. But for Everton, a victory for them will see them going to 4th place here. And especially with Liverpool and Chelsea playing each other, this could be an opportunity for them to capitalise on this.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for both teams. Obviously, for West Brom, Fulham will be playing around the same time as them. So if Tottenham can get the win against Fulham, that'd be great for them. And obviously they'll be playing Newcastle soon. For West Brom, unbeaten in 3, nick points of Manchester United. I think a win against Brighton, which is a brilliant result. I think Brighton are a very strong team. Obviously they are around those bits in the league, but I think a great result for them. On the other hand, Everton in good form. You know, they've bounced back. They had a bit of a struggle. They're beating their rivals, and then they've gone on and beaten a Southampton team. Although Southampton are struggling at the moment, they've still managed to get the win. But you know, for West Brom, I think, you know, if they can get a win here against Everton, then it might be the start of Mission Impossible for them. You know, there might be a bit of hope. You know what Sam Allardyce is like. But I think it's going to be an interesting game for both teams. I think there's a lot on the line for both teams. But I just have a hunch that it's going to end a draw just with the Sam Allardyce way, and I'm going to go for a 1-1.
So it's the biggest game this midweek, Liverpool versus Chelsea. And for Liverpool, Alisson has returned to training and will be returning to the starting 11, according to Jurgen Klopp. Also, Fabinho is likely to be involved in the squad after recovering from a muscle injury, whilst Diego Jota will be included after overcoming his illness. But for Chelsea, they will be assessing the top goal scorer, Tammy Abraham, to see if he can start after being back in training after his minor ankle injury suffered on Tuesday. And also Callum Hudson-Odoi is fit despite having a thigh problem at the weekend. But Piers, Liverpool, they got that win last time out against Sheffield United, a very heartfelt victory for them. But for Chelsea, they got that draw against Manchester United, a very underwhelming match, I think we can say here. But coming into this game, there's so much on the line here for both managers.
Yeah, it's the biggest game of the week. You know, I think Chelsea and Liverpool probably should just be those 2 spots higher in the table. To be honest, I think they should be where where Leicester and West Ham are. Obviously, Liverpool have been in some, you know, terrible form of all out, losing a few games. I mean, really no fault of their own, to be honest, because they've had a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, some of the games they probably could have done better. A couple individual mistakes, but obviously in their last game they've got a win against Sheffield United, so I'm sure that'll boost confidence. Chelsea, on the other hand, obviously Tuchel coming in, he's sort of rejuvenated the side. Obviously 2 draws in a row now against Southampton, obviously leading into a Champions League game, and against Manchester United, couldn't really look to put their chances away. Obviously, the game's going to be at Anfield. Chelsea haven't won there in the Premier League since, I believe, 2014. I know they beat them in the League Cup a few years ago, but I think this is the best time for Chelsea to be playing Liverpool at Anfield in the form they're in. Although Liverpool have got that bounce back win against Sheffield United, with the injuries they've got, I think, and the other troubles they have, I think it'd be interesting to see how they perform against the top 6 sides. So for this, just after how Chelsea have been playing recently, I'm going to favour them to get the win here, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Chelsea.